But when he really crossed the line for Tip and his whole family was he posted a very unflattering picture of T.I.'s wife, Tiny. Okay. And that set Tip off. That set the kids off. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Spann.
Black Man Spann in the building.
You tuned into
the MSR Pod virtual edition.
That's right, virtual edition. We're working on it though, but you got a virtual edition tonight, man. Shouts out to everybody that subscribe to the channels, all our new subscribers. We got a lot of new subscribers, so we appreciate you all. 100%. Since you're here, go ahead and spread the word. Let people know about this channel. Let people know about this podcast. All right, we got good things going on. And again, we really appreciate you all joining the tribe and rocking with us, man. I hope you like it here. I hope you stick around. You know what I mean?
Please do. Please do. We greatly appreciate all the new subscribers. We appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us from the beginning. We appreciate everyone that's rocking with us from way back in the day. So thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's building up, man, and we're real proud of that, all right? So we really do appreciate you all. While you're here, go ahead and follow us on social media, MSR Tribe on Instagram, MSR Tribe on Instagram, Mindstream Radio on Facebook, and MSR Tribe on Threads. If you haven't subscribed and you're just watching us, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, do all of that stuff, comment on the show, do all of the things, man. It really helps us out. It helps with that algorithm. You know how it goes with YouTube. If you're listening to us on podcast platforms, if you didn't know that we're on podcast platforms, we're on all of them. All right. Remember to rate and review the show, subscribe to the show, do all of that, comment, rate, do all of the things, man. Show us love. We always appreciate it. All right.
100.
All right. So we got something to talk about today. We're going to talk about this T.I. and 50 thing. We got a lot of thoughts about that. So actually, we're not going to waste a lot of time. I think we should just go ahead and jump right into it, P. You good with that?
Yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah.
Let's get right to it. Yeah, let's get to it. All right, man. This one makes me laugh a little bit, even though it's kind of not funny, but
right.
Anyhow, we'll get to it. T.I. and 50 Cent are beefing, and they're beefing hard. Okay, it's got everything you need except for the music, really,
100%.
and an actual beef. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. Before we do that, I do want to give some flowers to Tip, because T.I. is having a renaissance. He's one of those artists that I can't say he really went away. He's always, just last year I was praising that Metro Boomin album, and T.I.'s track with Young Dro is actually one of the best tracks on there. So Tip never really went away. He's always kind of been there, but he's done what a lot of legacy acts do and a lot of older artists do. They kind of just like, they give you a dope verse every now and then. They remind you that they can rhyme, but really it's been no album or anything really significant. He's gearing up for what he's calling his last album. I love when rappers do that. They always talk about something their last album, their last damn album.
Okay? Yes, the hysteria troll.
Yeah, they always do that. Okay, they always do this shit. I never understand it. Like, why do you without? But anyway, I only will get on that.
Yeah.
He's gearing up for his last album. He's got a single out called "Let 'Em Know" or something like that. It's fire. Even before all of this shit.
It definitely is.
Yeah, and to give people a little background, and it's not a whole lot of background, but just a little background that may not know and have not been keeping up with this. T.I. has been wanting to do a versus for a while now. Since versus was blazing hot and was the true cultural phenomenon that it was in 2020, T.I. has really been wanting to do a versus. I believe the Gucci Man versus, I think he was supposed to do that, but then Jeezy popped up, and then obviously that made more sense.
100% more.
Yeah, he wanted to do a versus with Wayne, and he's been wanting to do a versus with 50 Cent for some time, okay? According to him, all right, I would play the interview, but I don't want to get hit with a serious copyright. But according to him, he says that him and 50 Cent had talked about this way back then, okay, came up with a whole little marketing plan that they was going to talk some trash about each other, this, that, and another, and 50 Cent bam down on him essentially. Am I correct in that? Is that what you heard, Paul?
That's from everything that I heard. That's 100% correct. Yeah, they had a discussion about it. Set up some little small parameters. Was gonna, was definitely talking about doing it. And yeah, when it came time and T.I. was trying to talk to the man about it, he started doing 50 shit.
Yes, essentially what T.I. did, what they discussed, according to T.I., calling him out, doing stuff like this. 50 Cent kind of played it like, little bro, like, I ain't got time for this dude. You're not on my level. And decided to just troll as opposed to entertain the actual verse. So they never did the verses in 2020, 2021, maybe a little bit of 2022 when verses was really like a huge deal. Okay. Right. Versus took time off, has now come back in 2024 with the No Limit and Cash Money verses. I think there was another verses in between. Obviously, this thing is back now, and T.I. had started the rhetoric back up because he had an album coming out and it made sense. Well, 50 Cent did his 50 Cent thing, and started posting about T.I. being a snitch. Started posting. He showed the commercial with T.I. doing the Crime Stoppers commercial and all that, whatever. But when he really crossed the line for Tip and his whole family was he posted a very unflattering picture of T.I.'s wife, Tiny. Okay. And that set Tip off. That set the kids off. Okay. As we stand today, T.I. has released, I believe, 2 or 3 diss tracks. 3. Okay. His son has done one. Son has done one. Another son did one. And I heard, I might be wrong about this. This might be just like some shit on the internet that was just trying to be funny. I heard, what's his name? Buddy Love, the rock and roll.
He's staying out of it. He don't want no parts.
I'm so wrong about that. But okay, so Buddy, that would have been kind of funny. All right. Yeah. Paul, I have many thoughts on this, but I just want to get your general thoughts on this. I hesitate to call it a battle because 50 Cent is not releasing music. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this? Just your general thoughts.
Even like some of the stuff that 50 does is whack. Like I get it. I understand a professional troll. Like I understand its place in what media is today. Like I get it. Like there's some people who that's like literally their thing. It's like they're a part of their brand. And I guess 50 has attached it to himself. I think sometimes it gets a little, a bit ridiculous. And I mean it this way, considering that bro is overtly talented in other areas, right? Right. He has shows that he has things that are like very popular to be, to be doing with his time. You understand what I'm saying? He writes well. And I even give it to him. He's turned himself into a formidable actor. Like he really has. He has credits under his belt. He's acted with some of the top guys in the business. So some of these antics, like you have to wonder about his personal and about his actual inside. And you know how I feel about a person, the way that they relate to their family and to their own children. Right. You know how I personally feel about that. I don't know this man personally. Like I don't know him. I can talk about epithets of his character that in my opinion, that he continues to show to the public. You understand what I'm saying? So I think even at that posting the stuff about T.I. talking about Falant and how his best friend got killed. That shit is whack. Like it's whack. And I don't even this silly I guess street code and all this stuff that all the guys that are, I mean, and I know both T.I. and 50 are in their 40s. You know what I'm saying? So like even the tempers of this stupid back and forth street code of a who snitched and who didn't do, like it's getting old and redundant. And one would think that like the progression of so many things, like I said, bro is so talented in so many other areas. I think sometimes you can just like knock that off. I don't understand the necessity of it sometimes, especially like I get it. Hip hop is funny, trolling is funny and all that stuff. But like some of this stuff is just unnecessary in my opinion.
I agree with you. I'm gonna get to the family thing in a minute because I think that's something that's a huge piece of this. I want to touch on what you brought up, which is very important, like 50 Cent and the character of 50 Cent. I'm not talking about the character of the man. I'm talking about the character of 50 Cent. Okay. I've been watching a lot of stuff. Shouts out to Rap Latte. Shouts out to Culture United. Shouts out to all the shows that cover hip hop a lot more than us. And one thing that keeps coming up, Joe Budden Pod, a lot of pods, right? A thing that keeps coming up is this kind of like boogeyman aura of 50 Cent, a tragic misunderstanding of Tip and his skills. There's a lot here, okay? And then also a bit of a sizing for my DC folks, you know what that word means.
Yeah, y'all know what time it is.
Hyping of 50 Cent's catalog.
Yes.
Okay. We talked about weeks ago, I brought up a conversation that Wayno had about just, he was talking about academics, but he's talking about like growing up, right? You got to grow up. The stick gets old. The thing about 50 Cent, Paul, is that he uses memes now because that's the technology that he use now, but he's always used memes. He's always been a meme. He came onto the scene making fun of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
How to rob.
How to rob. All right. That was his first known track. I know 50 Cent had been around for a while, and I know that. So there's that, right? 50 Cent really made his bones off beefing. That's what he. It was how to rob. That was the street cred. And then Jay-Z gave him a little jab. I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent? Right? Cool. Then the Murder Inc. Ja Rule thing happens. And
Wankster about Ja Rule, all those
Wankster, all of that stuff, right? I smell pussy. Is that you, Ja? I smell that's his thing. He's been funny. Him on the Beef DVD. See, we remember a lot of this shit, okay? The Beef DVD with him standing out on the roof with talking about how despicable they are. He had the epic scene of him standing on that rooftop with his hat to the side and the vest on, talking big shit. He's been like this, okay? And he has survived off of it for years. Many people point out that he's actually lost a couple of the beefs that he's really been in, but he didn't really lose because he lost musically, but he always survived by being funny. Okay. So he's been able to be a bully. And what I think this represents, people, before we get to the family piece of it, because again, that's the piece that really sparks my interest. What I think is interesting about this is that he is a representation of what our audience doesn't want anymore from hip hop. That whole thing that happened a year or two ago, we're not going to name no names, we're not going to talk about the people, but that other thing I have been saying for a long time, and people kept laughing at me because I'm a hater of one of the parties involved in that other thing, okay? But the reason why, going back to an old pod I used to have, to the Butler did a pod, we had a conversation about an artist not growing up. And I'm telling you, what you're witnessing is a yearning for that from the audience, okay? So when you get this, and then when he takes it where he takes it, Tiny, people are like, oh, that's not funny. You're taking it too far. That's that man's wife. That's those boys' mom.
And she have nothing to do with this.
She don't got nothing to do with this. Just like Whitney didn't have anything to do with it. Just like Pusha's wife didn't have anything to do with it. The things that used to slide back in the 2000s and the 90s, you know, putting mess on car seats, and you know, that's why all that was fun when we were kids. That's the thing. We've grown up with these dudes. You just mentioned it. T.I. is like 2 years older than me. Okay. 50 might be 50 years old. I will look that up in a moment. Okay. I believe he's closer to 50 than not. All right. So we're talking about grown men
Mm-hmm.
still throwing out little boy jabs. Well, a grown man still living off little boy jabs, still living off beefs that are 30 years old.
Yeah.
A dude getting on an airplane and
With his henchmen.
cronies, his henchmen,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Looking wild. Looking
filming
old
him.
and wild.
One of the dudes involved in it has died from diabetes.
Yeah.
That's how old this thing has become. Irv
Yeah.
Gotti's gone.
Yeah.
God rest him. I'm not making fun of that. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like these are older men. DMX dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people gone not from gunshots and street shit. People gone from
hypertension.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we still doing this. So I bring all that up to say, here's a man trying to do a retirement album. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for a moment, looking for to go out with the biggest bang he could think of, doing the verses, doing it, you know what I mean? It make more sense for T.I. to do a verse.
Celebrate hip hop, yes, sir.
Celebrate hip hop, celebrate himself, and he's mired and tied down in this dumbass beef where his children are involved. Okay. So that's my general thoughts on it. That 50 Cent finally found the right one, in my opinion, and the bullying thing has finally gotten old. And to me, it's a big lesson on growing up.
How about that?
It really is, in my opinion.
I agree wholeheartedly. Like you said, even when you look at the whole thing, you look at the Uncle Murder and Tony Yayo, it's not even, like you said, for one, Nas with Mass Appeal has done a wonderful job of allowing a younger audience to see the value of older rappers, to see that the skill of hip hop and the way that you can put things and coin things can still resonate to both the older audience, because we are all going to continually involve with hip hop. It is our music of choice. And by the way, not to make a pun or anything, 50 Cent is 50 years old.
50 on the dot. I just looked it up. Yeah,
100% 50 years old. So like as we're all like, we can reach back and listen to some younger Jews. I think that JID is fire. I think that there are so many cats that I can still resonate with that are both new school but still mimic some of the music that I'm so very much used to, that I personally love, right? But we can also be fond of some of the guys from our era. So while we're doing that, and not to belabor this point, but to see 50, you've elevated beyond simplicity just music. Like you've created, like 50's created his own universe. Like Power is a universe.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like
it is.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So it's just like when
but he's tried to, not to cut you off. So he's been able to get away with bullying, because you bring up the Power universe. He's done these. He's practiced these same tactics with the Stars
on his
Network,
own shows. Yes,
with actors on the show, with the showrunner, with executives. He's done the same thing. He's been doing the same thing, and it's been working for him for 25 years, probably longer. It's worked with street dudes. It's worked with rappers. It's worked with actors. It's worked with girlfriends. It's worked with TV executives. It's worked. Okay. Now it is not. It's finally gotten old.
Wearing thin.
Yes. And I'm interested in as to why. Why has it finally gotten old? Why, in your opinion? I honestly, I have my thoughts on it. Okay.
Right.
And I shared some of them. Okay. But why, in your opinion, do you feel like now, I mean, just 3 months ago, not even that long ago, it was around Super Bowl times, it wasn't 3 months ago, we in our group chat were laughing at the 50 Cent commercial where he was, I don't even remember what it was for. It was like for Uber Eats or something like that, where he was talking, he was insinuating
all the Diddy innuendos.
Yes. We just did a show months ago about the Diddy doc that was all 50 Cent. So why do you think that people have decided now is the time that we're through with the bullying. The bullying has finally gotten old.
I think at the nature of certain things and where it's gotten, some of the things that we already talked about, right? We talked about the elevation of hip hop. We talked about where people are in the stage of their lives. Like some of these antics because I think there's a mixed audience in this. Like there's a younger audience in this that still finds some of these things funny, and because I still see them in the comments, they be saying stuff like, "Man, people know not to mess with Fifth. Wait till he come out with the documentary about what T.I. and Tiny have been doing, and he gonna set their grandkids back whatever amount of years." So I think there's a separation of things. I think most definitely for people our age, for you who is a father, for me who is a father and a grandfather, who and for those people that actually love hip hop, who consider it a literal way of life. I think for us, that element of things is exhausting because it's not even like this thing isn't even directly comparable to what we witnessed last year. You understand what I'm saying? Like that thing was definitely more musically and culturally inclined. You understand what I'm saying? Like this all I think what it's doing is just exposing pettiness and immaturity, bro. Like I think about how exhausted we've been in hip hop. Think about the back and forth of Jim Jones and of all the things. Think about the whatever they're calling him, a teenager or whatever it is that he's being called for his antics. You understand what I'm saying? So I think for our age group, like I said, like a hip hop battle will always be that when it comes to but we can even attest, even with that, even with as great as what happened between, the two gentlemen happened, there were people that were exhausted with that.
I think people are exhausted with it now, for sure. We're talking about Kendrick or Drake. We can say names. I mean,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, people are exhausted with it now. I think for two different reasons, though. But we could talk about that later.
Right.
I agree with you, and I think that reason why I brought up that the antics were literally working in December, literally working in January. Again, he did the Super Bowl commercial where he made fun of Ja Rule, he made fun of Diddy, right? While advertising, the Super Bowl commercial, but while advertising Uber Eats. Okay, that's how mainstream 50 Cent had become, right? By being 50 Cent. I really think it's as simple as the other people that he battled, outside of people he battled like early in his career, like Jadakiss and people like that, where it's like the mainstream people didn't really know who Jadakiss was at the time, and they barely knew who 50 Cent was on a real level, right? People that he's targeted in the last 10 years or so have been people that are easy to hate.
Right.
Puffy,
right?
Stars executives,
right?
Some cocky actor, right? And even with that, kind of going on Amari Hardwick a little bit, because Amari Hardwick can't stop talking about playing Ghost,
right?
Okay, people, even when he kind of got the hint that people didn't really like him, like the idea of him picking on Amari Hardwick, he kind of stopped. Right. And Amari Hardwick, I'm keep picking on Amari, but I'm just using an example. He backed down because it's 50 Cent. Right. So it's just part of this big, this legacy he has, and this aura he has of, I will crush you because I crush everybody I go against. So don't fool with him. Right.
And I'll sue you.
Right. Or I'll make some movie about you. I'll do something. Or it's not necessarily I'll sue you. You won't ever act in Power again. I'll take my movie. I'll take my series and go. Little Meech, right? Oh, well, you never want to act again because you fooling, because you rolling with Rick Ross, and Rick Ross is like, okay, kind of, he's likable, I guess, but really it's Rick Ross. You know what I mean? Diddy. Easy to explain, right?
Easy.
But T.I., who hates T.I.? Who doesn't like T.I.? Think about what T.I. has built up over the past 10, 15 years. Again, we're not talking about King of the South T.I. We're not talking about T.I. that went up against Lil Flip. We're talking about T.I. and Tiny, the family show. We interviewed him around the time he had that show and how he had changed. We're talking about using big words expeditiously, T.I. We're talking about stand-up comedian T.I. We're talking about a guy who's like lovable. You giggle at him. Oh, he bombed at a comedy show. It's kind of funny, but we all kind of really almost admire him for living his life.
Even stepping out there. Yep.
Plastic surgery and shit like that. And stuff that we don't need to really get into when it comes to Tiny. You know, I'll start there because I don't know how much I lost. You know, plastic surgery, stuff like that, that we don't really have to go there with when it comes to Tiny, how you ever, you know, whatever, right? But Tiny is from Escape. She's from a TV show. We've seen her as a mom. We've seen them raise kids. Them kids are grown. Who hates them? This is not Puff Daddy. This is not some Stars executive. This isn't Irv Gotti. This isn't Supreme.
Right.
So it's like ultra bullying now. So you take the thing that happened on the airplane, bullying. This dude, you done defeated this dude 10 times over. You done crushed Ja Rule, the guy that people could really argue was responsible and the guy that you really had a real problem. I'm not about to get into the street shit, but so many documentaries and documentations of this. If you paid attention, you know that the person he was really mad at was Supreme and Irv. And Ja Rule was just the mouthpiece for all that. So he was the lightning rod for it. Irv Gotti gone. Irv Gotti gone. And again, I'm not calling nobody. I'm not trying to get into the tough guy shit. So I'm gonna leave again. Some of this is like true street beef stuff that I ain't got nothing to do with and I don't know nothing about.
Right.
When you talk about the T.I. situation, so we're gonna leave Murder Inc. and all that out of it. When you think about the T.I. situation, it does feel like, damn, why you fucking with Tiny? Why you fucking with T.I.? Which brings me to my other point, and you tell me what you think about this, because I've been teasing at it the whole show. Hip hop got to grow out of talking about people's wives and kids, man. It hasn't worked. Maybe it was working back when Eminem used to do it. Again, what worked in 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1995, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1988, 1989 don't work in 2026. Okay. When we bring up the battle, okay, to me, as I've said quite a few times, my biggest issue with Old Boy was that he showed a lack of maturity and a lack of manhood by constantly going at someone's wife. To me, it's multi-level, P. Yes, I'm a married man, so I have a sensitivity to that. Not only do I have a wife, she's also the mother of my children, so I have a serious sensitivity to someone coming at that person who is important in my entire world, right? So I wouldn't take well to it, right? So I can imagine and understand how Pusha T is like, whoa, or how Kendrick's like, whoa, or how T.I. is like, whoa, and the kids are like, whoa. It's one thing to talk about my paperwork and all that. We could battle about that all day. Make fun of my stand-up. But why you going at my wife? Okay. It's not only is it that, and not only is it sort of like some, some kind of like patriarchal, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, okay, but like, that's my wife. I gotta defend my wife shit, which is cool. I'm not saying there's anything wrong there. But it does fall into that category. Okay. Not just that. It also speaks to a very old played out trope of like, I'm gonna make fun of your car. I'm gonna make fun of how much money you don't have, and I'm gonna make fun of your quality of woman. You're treating that woman like a possession. So with Drake, it was the thing he wanted to go at was your girl fucking your man. She for anybody. Okay. Same thing he was trying to say about Pusha T's wife. With this one is your girl ugly. This is what he said about Tiny. Your girl ugly. Mine ain't.
Funny
that's
shit.
That's some little boy shit. That's kid shit. That's what children make fun of. So yeah, it's about maturity, and I think the world sees it that way. I think for the first time, he truly looks foolish and old and out of style.
100%. 100%.
And I think that's what that's about. I think that's what people are reacting to.
Yeah, that element and that troll game has gone, but so far, and like you said, in this instance, when all of us are fully aware that's a mother, all of us, I mean, you can say whatever you want. Like you said, they have over the few years done a great job of showing their family and showing how their family dynamics work. And
for a generation, awesome. Paul.
Come on,
for a generation.
Come on.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
And I'd say this, like if I were to, and I think it receives even more empathy, because if I were to look at a relationship between a father and kids, I would much rather look at the relationship that T.I. has with his children over the relationship that 50 Cent has with both of his children, not just his older one. He's having literal problems with his younger son now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think when we factor in all of those things, and the fact that like all of us are I mean, you think about the things that beset you on a day. You got to think about your mortgage. You got to think about your family. You got to think about, now, mind you, it doesn't stop you from enjoying music. It doesn't stop you from enjoying movies. It doesn't stop you from enjoying the things that you loved as a kid. But now you're a full, flat out grown man, but you still have the ability to indulge in the things that you like. And being at this age and having knowledge is just not, like you already said, it's not apropos anymore, man. It's just like, all right, bruh, like enough. Like you're trolling, you're all those things that they are what they are, and keeping it between man to man. Okay, now I'm gonna say something about you. I done showed your paperwork. I done showed how you were, when you were in trouble with the law, you had to backtrack and tell people to call the law and do all that other stuff. Okay. But post to that man, it's low rent, Adam. And I think that so many people want hip hop to not be low rent.
Yeah, people, that's exactly right, Paul.
Right.
And again, kids aren't paying attention to this, so maybe kids are still into like the dirt and the mess, and when we talk about hip hop growing, and in a sense, when we mean hip hop growing, we also talk about ourselves growing, right? Because there's this idea that hip hop, you got to let hip hop go at some point because you've gotten older. But you and I were born, we were born in a time where there was nothing but hip hop. We're of that generation where like hip hop is
that's
older
our
than
music.
Us.
Yes.
Right. So we come up, it's our music, it's our culture.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can't let it go. That's not possible. There is no letting it go. You may not listen to as much rap music as you used to.
Right.
But hip hop is so far, it's so entrenched into all of our music, just look at how we look right now. Look at what's going on behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hip hop ain't going nowhere for us. So as we grow, we want the artists of our generation to grow. I'm not talking about NBA YoungBoy and anyone like that. They're gonna make their mistakes, and when we look back at them, we got to understand that, like, which is something I want to bring up in the second segment of in our last segment, or however you want to frame it. When we look at our older artists, and when they were younger, they were wild. Okay, but what you want to do is see them mature. You don't lose your sense of humor. You don't lose your sense of fun. That's not what I'm trying to say. Like, the battle was funny in our group chat when someone asked, I think Smooth asked about like what y'all think about 50 and T.I. My reaction was, it's funny. And it's still kind of funny, but I see why, and we get to the kids now, basically, why the kids and why T.I. is so thrown off by that, and why it's gotten nasty on their end. And speaking of getting nasty on their end, what I will say, and T.I. just did an interview today, I think it was yesterday, he did one with Ebro, and the thing that he did say is that he doesn't like that King is deciding to go at 50 Cent's mom, who has
both of his sons
has passed away. Okay. But I will say this, and that's wrong. Full stop. I don't think you should go there. I think that when we talk about being a better man and a bigger person, that's exactly it. And for those young boys, that's something they need to understand. That man's mother is gone. Okay. He could be whatever you feel like he is. That woman is no longer, she's not here anymore. And that does more to your soul than his. Real talk. Okay. But I understand. I see your face. I'm sure he understands where it's coming from because that's their mama.
Period.
That's their mama you talking about, bro. It's their mom.
And no offense, yeah. And I don't mean this in a bad way or anything. Their mother's still here.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
hear all that.
Like I'm not condoning any of that stuff. And like you said, T.I. did come out and say he doesn't like that. It's not something that he would champion for. But understand something. You started it with the mothers.
Yeah, you did.
Right?
You did. And and I'm not sure he even thought about it. Not to shoot 50 Cent any bail. He don't need no bail from me. But I'm not sure he was thinking about them boys when he said that. He was going at. See, that's what I mean by growing up.
Exactly.
That's what I mean by maturing.
Yeah.
Because
thinking all the way across the board.
He wasn't thinking about that woman as a wife and a mother. He was thinking of her as a piece of property, a thing to attack, to hurt T.I.
Exactly.
You think you all that, and you walking around with, in his opinion, an ugly woman. I'm not saying Tiny's ugly. This is what he believes, okay?
Right.
So that's going to be a ding on the facade of T.I., the king of the South, Tip, you know what I mean? That dude is supposed to be, your bitch ain't bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
One of the oldest stereotypes, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yo, speaking of that, I think it just off topic just for a split second, but I think it may even give you some, maybe T.I. and them didn't think about this at all, but it makes me think about it. Candy, who's again in the group Escape with Tiny, I saw an interview with her years ago, and she was talking about how angry she was at Biggie Smalls. Okay. Because Biggie Smalls had a song famously called Dreams of Fucking R&B
bitch.
And he had a line in there where he said, I'm going to butcher it, but essentially he was saying, like, I'd even get with those ugly escape women.
Right.
And she was saying, like, for years, like, how that hurt her, how that, like, that line hurt her feelings, and she did not like Biggie for years because he called them ugly.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I want to speak for them. I don't want to start making up stuff, but like, if that's something that they've heard about themselves for years as a group, right? One of them is openly say, I mean, we heard it in a song. Biggie described them as that, right? Maybe it's a sensitivity for her. Maybe that's something they know about them. I'm not going to, actually, I don't need to say that. They need to, they're going to defend their mom, whether they, whatever. But either way, I'm sure 50 Cent isn't thinking about how hurtful he was being to the kids. Not that he cared, okay, but he was thinking of her as a piece of property to go at.
She was just a jab. Yeah. She's just a jab, not
sorry, please.
No, she's just a jab, not a person, not a mother, not any of those things. She's just all right, well, let me get in here and say this or show this to the world about Main Man. But
okay, so, no, please. I'm sorry, I had a question, but I want you to go ahead.
But that all goes full circle though, because like you said, with the growing up element, there's foresight for you think, darn, okay, let me. And I'm not saying that obviously the 50 Cent is this well thought out. You know what I'm saying? He might be in idiocracy, but to sit back and go, all right, I'm about to post this up about I'm sure, like you were saying, he wasn't thinking about those children at all, and maybe he should have.
Yeah. But it brings up an interesting point, because when the battle was going on last year, and there was a lot of discussion, and the reason why I often bring it up is because I do think it was important and transitional to hip hop. Not a Drake fan. Obviously, people that watch this show or listen to the show know that by now. To the point where I say Drake's name, everybody in my crew just starts giggling and shit because they know, or if I say Kendrick, right? But reason why, outside of my feelings for Drake and my admiration for Kendrick, right? Reason why I thought that battle was so important because it was asking really important questions
of hip hop.
And one of the questions was, how far do you go in a battle? How far are we willing to go, and are we willing as a society to accept? Obviously, Kendrick Lamar took it to the PDF angle, okay? And a lot of people that were not just pro Drake, Kendrick Lamar took it 2 levels. He took he took to the PDF thing, and then he took it to a cultural and racial makeup place, right? Eric Dyson just recently came out again talking about how upset he was about, Kendrick making fun and questioning Drake blackness, right? Which is the fundamental misunderstanding of what the man was saying, but I get it, whatever. It's fine. At this point, it's literally fine. But on a larger scale, on a larger level, it was asking these questions about hip hop in general, black culture in general, but also inside of all of that, how do we battle and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable? Because we hadn't really seen a real true battle in over a decade.
A long time. For real. Yeah.
Okay. So my thought process here is, when is it all fair in war, right? In love and war, right? Or whatever the phrase is. And I'll answer it myself. You tell me what you think. The reason why it isn't all fair, right, is because it's not in the music. It was a meme. He didn't make a track, and again, it would be messed up, and it's hypocritical, okay? But it's like, it's a battle. We know what a battle is. But because you taking it off of wax, and I'm sure there's going to be people that's going to hear this and go like, what? That shit don't make no sense. And it probably doesn't, okay? And I still think the boys would get upset, and I still think that, again, going there, even in the music, you're going to catch somebody's wrath.
Yeah.
Drake caught it. Drake caught it twice. Okay. In both cases, not to ramble too much, P, but I just want to land and make my point super crystal clear. Battles are ugly. Okay. Battles can get ugly. But in both cases, both Pusha and Kendrick warned Drake, bro, please don't go where I'm hearing you're going. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm wrong. Kendrick warned him. Pusha responded. And both responses were super nasty. Pusha made it real clear, I'm going hard on you right now because you went there, you took it to a place I don't think you should have took it. Okay. Kendrick gave a warning and then went super left with it because he was like, I told you, nigga, don't bet. So I would suggest any rapper, especially rappers of a certain age, any rapper really, let's move on from this. Let me pick on your woman thing. Okay. Let's move on from it because you're going to catch a man's wrath. So that means if you battle rapping, or even if you out in the street, keep somebody's mama and their woman out of your mouth. Okay. Also, from a moral standpoint, don't throw in people that have nothing to do with what's going on between you and that man. That's between you and that man. So I want to clarify and make crystal clear my point about a battle before you jump in there. What I say about you and what you say about me in a battle, and this is an old practice that people outside of hip hop may not understand, but we going at it. You a snitch, you a this, you a that, you a that, you sick, got sickle cell, all the shit we've heard people say in a battle. It's terrible. Okay, but I'm battling you as a man, okay? Or as a woman, 2 women battling, however it works out. About the person. Don't throw in people that don't got nothing to do about it and can't rap and aren't going to rap and can't defend themselves. That's my stance on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was slightly different. Because like you said, this isn't just a on wax battle where on a song I said your wife looks ugly. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I posted a shame, and understand something. I mean, obviously anybody can pull up pictures. The World Wide Web is the World Wide Web. You understand what I'm saying? But I posted something in an unflattering manner of both your wife and these children's mom, right? And it's there. And understand that the cycle that we live in is going to get reposted 70 million more times.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Listening to a song, you enjoy that to yourself, or you listen to the song. You understand what I'm saying? You don't go and be like, hey, let me, you know what I mean? So this is different. And I think that like being mindful, I think as everybody grows, you're just going to see that this stick and all this stuff is just wearing old on people. It's wearing old on people, especially and honestly, bro, when we consider, not to get deeper than it needs to be, but when we consider the climate of the world, when we consider like so many things that are really going on, and we really have to pay attention to it. You understand what I'm saying? Regardless of whether we let it overcome us or we don't, we still have to live in it. So sometimes for our indulgences, for the things that we do take to relax ourselves and all those, sometimes for that element of it can truthfully get exhausting for people of a certain age. Like I really mean that. Like we're facing so many things. I just wanna talk banter about this possible retirement album with T.I. I just wanna you understand what I'm saying? I don't wanna have to think about someone's wife being slandered. You know what I'm saying? So I think that element of it is just, I don't know. I think that the audience is just saying enough. I think that's what that is. A certain part of the audience is just saying we don't rock with this anymore.
Yeah, and there's certain things, and this is why, again, well, 2 points. One, also the character of 50 Cent, again, I don't want to use that metaphor, is the shine is coming off of it a bit. You've been supportive of Trump. Kind of just been, you're not, none of you guys are the street version of you anymore.
At all.
Right? Not even T.I.
At all.
Right? You're not. You're now celebrities. You're corporate. Okay, so that's one thing.
100%.
Yeah. And so, going at Puff is one thing. Going at someone else with some of the rep that you have, that you built up over the years is another thing. And I think that's important. Another thing is that, again, hip hop, that's why it's, the message here for me is hip hop has to grow.
Yes.
In that battle last year, and you mentioned it being, people being exhausted with it now. Well, yeah, because we've litigated everything at this point, and now it's just people just rehashing old arguments. It's some model on Adam 22 the other day talking about Kendrick sound like a nerd, or frankly, it is Kendrick stans who don't even understand the artist that they're fans of and want him to be a messiah and want him and all the think pieces and all of the, it's time for that thing to go ahead and end. We litigated it. We decided what it is, and we've come to an understanding. And you can look at the artists that are hot right now, that are selling right now, and the ones that don't. And we, as hip hop, we've decided what we want and what we don't want, and this happens in hip hop. Everybody talks about the 50 Cent's era. It was a "We're Tired of the Murder Inc." singy song and Ashanti duet era. We want something a little more gritty, a little more. So here comes Dipset. Here comes G Unit. Here comes the Crunk era. Here comes something a little more. And then from there was another conversation. They come from a battle, but it was another conversation. It was like, you know what? We want to party. We want to have fun. Here comes Kanye. Here comes Lupe. Even though Lupe's not like a party artist, but like lighter, more thoughtful. And then from there, even we want to have snap music and blah, blah, blah. Then the blog era came around. Before that, it was the DMX era. We don't want shiny suits anymore. We want DMX. We want this, we want that. So the point I'm trying to make is that we're in another transition point in hip hop. And it's more complicated than even back then because it was still one audience of people that you were dealing with. And it was one general audience deciding they want something else. Hip hop is huge now, and hip hop has a 51 years, almost 52 years of existence. And so you have 40-something-year-olds and 50-something-year-olds that are hip hop heads. And the 50-year-olds and the 40-year-olds are going to have the stomach for the same thing that the 20-year-old has, or the 25-year-old has, or even the 30-year-old has, right? And so, yeah, playing those games you used to play when you were 25 or even 35, it doesn't fly. It doesn't fly. And some people really just wanted a T.I. retirement album. People were excited when the man cut his hair and started wearing his hats tilted again. It's nostalgic.
Yes.
And it does feel a little messed up. And I would actually give this advice to T.I. at some point. Move on.
Let it go.
Yep.
Keep doing what you're doing. Yep.
Get back to it.
Yep.
Okay, because at the end of the day, that man ain't going to make no music about you. He's not going to make a song. Okay, he's only going to do ugly shit because he's not really a rapper anymore. He's a mogul. He's a pop culture icon. Is what he is. Okay, and part of his icon status comes from being a troll. So he's only doing what he knows to do.
Yeah.
He's only doing what he knows to do.
Yeah.
You have made your point. I want you to get to the music. You have shown yourself to be a stand-up man. Your boys have shown themselves to be stand-up children. Whether they took it too ugly or not by talking about a woman who's no longer here, two things can be true. You made your point about Tiny can hear this, his mom can't, but at the end of the day, his mom's gone. She certainly cannot. If Tiny wanted to, she could make a song.
Yeah,
okay?
She could.
50 Cent mom cannot. Okay, so we have.
It's a bad look.
This is a battle that I'm not looking forward to going on any longer. But I do think it is one of the more interesting ones because it's two older artists, two legacy artists. And one last point I want to make, and this will be my last point on the beat. I said this when there was talk of a battle between Wayne and T.I. And I certainly said it when there was talk of a battle between a versus between Wayne and T.I. and a versus between Tip and 50. Okay. People sleeping on T.I.
Yeah.
People sleeping on T.I. You're sleeping on his character. You're sleeping on his catalog. Okay. You are sleeping on his legacy. T.I. one of the best to ever do it. I'm not calling him one of my top 5 rappers ever or nothing like that. But what I am saying is he's definitely one of the best to ever do it. And I'm glad that people are being reminded of that because there's a lot of New York bias when it comes to old Curtis. Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of NY, I get it, but I get that because 50 Cent in New York, mixtapes, the G Unit tapes, Clue tapes, all that stuff, I get it. Like, there's a lot of musical history that people outside of New York don't really understand when it comes to 50 Cent and all those mixtapes. Maybe here in D.C. we get it, and when you're in the East Coast, you kind of get it. But if you were in New York, it's a little different. But there's a whole history of Tip in the South, and here in D.C., in the DMV, that people don't understand. And I remember what he did, the little flip.
Yeah. And he's still one of the pioneers of trap music. Like literally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like and on top of that, that man is a hell of a rapper. Like knock that off. Knock that off and knock off like that man don't have real live hits. Cause he has real live hits.
And he might have more than 50.
Come on.
He might have more than 50. I was making the argument, and we're gonna move on. I was making the argument when Wayne we had this conversation in our group chat, and nobody really entertained me. Okay. I know we love Wayne, and people love Wayne for the same reasons they love 50. Not the same, not the trolling, but Wayne got this mixtape run that people really throw into the and it makes sense. But man, when you put a hit for hit Like actual hit for hit, not like song you like.
Right.
Hit for hit.
Hits. Justin Timberlake, Rihanna.
Yeah, buddy.
He has.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like my beat. Damn.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm fucking T.I., man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm fucking T.I.
Hey.
It was all about the money.
All in all, man.
Come on, man.
Grow the fuck up, man.
Yeah, for sure. That's the theme of our show. Grow up.
Like, it's okay. Like it's okay. And be happy be happy with evolution. Like even some of the stuff that people still think that we gotta hold on to. Like even like you said, like so many of these things get so corny when we look at a Jay Prince still being both a businessman and a street dude. Like it gets like knock it off, yeah. Knock it off, bro.
Yeah.
Like knock it off. Like it's okay. It's okay to enjoy the spoils of what hip hop has become. Like we don't have to always revert back. Like it's all right to like this is hip hop is a corporate business, bruh.
Yeah.
Like a 100% corporate business. Bammers are selling their catalogs for millions on millions of dollars because companies know the value in them because they want them. You understand? So like it's okay. Now mind you, we're never going to take away the culture. We're never going to stop. Like there's so many museums. We're never going to stop talking about how everything originated, but everything has an origin. You understand what I'm saying? And then we grow and we evolve and then we can talk about the origin that we had and we can celebrate where we are currently. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it, yeah. Grow up, nigga.
All right, so funny that we're talking about growing up and all this because it's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm.
And it just popped up today. I did not plan on talking about this. So I'm on YouTube going through it. I had a sick day today, so I didn't go into the office. I was working from home, got a little cold.
Right.
And so I'm laid up, scrolling YouTube. And a whole episode of Rap City popped up on my YouTube feed, bro.
Nice.
It was the top 10 jams
right
of summer 1996. A full episode. Somebody just literally took like a VHS tape, bro, and uploaded it to YouTube. Okay. The music obviously was the super cool part. Okay.
Yes.
Hearing Joe Clair's voice, super cool.
Shout out Joe Cleese.
Shout out to Joe Cleese. I'd love to have Joe Cleese on the show, actually.
Most definitely.
DC native, DC guy.
Yeah.
But the funniest part, Paul, to me, was watching the old ass commercials. Because when I say somebody just literally took their VHS tape, and uploaded that junk to YouTube,
right,
I saw a commercial for the original Gangsta soundtrack.
Let's go.
Featuring Junior Mafia. Ice-T. Face Mob. Willie D.
Let's go.
And I forgot the R&B group that was the Ideal.
Okay. Ideal. Face Mob.
I saw a commercial for It Was Written, the Nas album, dropping this fall.
Yeah, coming at you. Coming smooth at you.
Okay. Nas is coming. Nas is coming. Okay. I saw a commercial for Aaliyah, If Your Girl Only Knew. Aaliyah came popping out of the concrete in a leather suit. Okay. But the best part about it, Paul, the best part, I saw not one, not two, but 3 St. Ives commercials, brother.
Let's go. And I think I saw that run. Yes.
Okay. One featuring Method Man and Redman. One featuring Snoop and Tupac. Okay. And the other one, I think it was the whole like Wu-Tang jump. Okay. there was a time in our youth
I can talk about this.
Beer commercials, St. Ives alcohol malt liquor beer commercial was running on Rap City, a show that was definitely geared and marketed to teenagers and middle schoolers, because that's when I was watching it, bro. So we talk about growing up in nostalgia. This segment, there's no lesson in this. I just think
whatsoever.
it was interesting. Okay,
But I used to go get cases of St. Ives special brews, and this is when I was literally a teenager. And we would go to 55 because they didn't card nobody. Sorry, 55. Like you know what I'm saying? No one. No one. Like you could have been no, it's still very much open. Still very much open out there. Yeah. But we would go in there and definitely get St. Ives special brew, bro. Like the Bahamas had T-shirts. They had, all the commercials, all the rappers in the commercial. You know what I'm saying? You get you a St. Ives jumpsuit. Had enough points.
That's hilarious. And the one I was forgetting about, and I actually just Googled like who did St. Ives commercials. I'm about to get to this in a second, right? What the third? It was a fourth one actually. Okay, so the three I just named. Then it was one. It was like a cartoon where like it was like a someone was getting chased by another dude, and the St. Ives man had like a cannon on his arm, and he was shooting them with all the different flavors of St. Ives. So he shot him like regular St. Ives, and it didn't really affect him. It was like, oh man, that's regular St. Ives. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't enough.
Then he shot him with like, the other flavor. And it was like, oh, okay, it's stabbing me a little bit, but whatever was still coming. Then he shot him with what was probably what you talking about, the cold brew.
You know what I'm saying?
And that one was like, the monster was like,
the special brew. Right. Yeah. This is special. Yeah. And 51 liquors, by the way. I'm sorry, 51, not 55.
Listen, bro. Yeah. Listen, man. That was a different time.
100%.
You see beer commercials like during like the football game. You do see like Miller Lite and shit like that. You don't really see malt liquor commercials for sure. And you don't see commercials. We've come a long way in these 30 odd years where you don't see commercials that are geared towards kids anymore. And you shouldn't, by the way, you should not. But when I say these commercials were not only geared towards teenagers, they were using people we idolize. Ice Cube had one. MC8 had one.
Yes.
Eric B. and Rakim got one.
Yes.
Okay. Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Jay-Z got one. Wu-Tang got one.
Yeah, I remember it very well, bro.
Biggie Smalls got one. All right. Warren G. King T. Okay. Snoop got a couple of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What a time, bro.
And now Snoop is hosting the Olympics.
Hip hop's growing up.
And one of his best friends is Martha Stewart.
Bro, Method Man and Redman had their joint, right? And by the way, they look the same.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay. Doing an incredible job of taking care of their health.
They look the same, but Method Man is a sex symbol now. He was back then too. But now he's like a different kind of like grown man. 55 years old. Looks great. Rest in peace to Power, by the way, from Wu-Tang Clan.
Rest in peace, Power.
Down to Wu-Wear and one of the pioneers, man. Terrible news on that. Yeah, terrible loss. But Method Man, look where he is now. Look at Snoop now, right? All right. So shout outs to the St. Ives commercial. That was always funny to see. And it's just like a blast of nostalgia. I want to ask you something, P. I'm sure you're going to have a difficult time answering this, but I want to ask you because we were both around. So it's the top 10 music videos of the summer of 1996. Okay?
Right.
Can you name 3 of the top 5?
96. All right. I know something with Tupac has to be in there. So I'm gonna say Man, what do I want to go with? I'm gonna go California Love is one of them. All right, I'm gonna go I Ain't Mad at You is one of them.
Think about the St. Ives commercial I just said.
Today Was a Good Day.
Nah. All right, move past it. It wasn't those, but Tupac definitely had one of them. Remember, you just got to name 3. I don't need you to name. You don't have to name all 5.
Nothing But a Gangster Party.
Bang.
All right,
that's one.
All right. I'm trying to think of the year. In my mind, DMX has had something on there.
No, 1996, brother. Summer of 1996.
Is Jay on there?
Yes.
All right, so we going with Not Dead Presidents.
No.
You feeling it?
No, but close. That type of bop.
Dawn. It's right there. I know it's not Sunshine. That joint didn't get a lot of play.
No, it wasn't Sunshine, but it was that type of joint.
The joint with him and Foxy?
Yes.
Ain't no
nigga like
ain't no. All right, bet.
Off the Nutty Professor soundtrack. And by the way, they showed the trailer for Nutty Professor doing this.
Yeah. Ain't no.
Eddie Murphy's got the #1 movie of the summer.
Nutty Professor. Ain't no. Let me think. Who's the last? Who's the last? 96.
You're not gonna guess any of these, bro.
It's not hip hop?
No, it's definitely hip hop. It's Rap City.
All right.
But it's not going.
Triumph, Wu-Tang not on there?
No.
All right, what's the last?
All right, so I'm going to name them.
Uh-huh.
The top 5 joints of the summer of 1996 was The Crossroads at number 5, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, right.
Number 4 was The Stakes is High, De La Soul. Okay. Number 3 was Gangsta Party, two of America's Most Wanted, Tupac and
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop. Okay, number 2 was Ain't No Nigga Like the One I Got.
Right.
Do you
better.
Number 1 was Hey, Hey,
in the middle of the bar. Crucial Conflict.
Smoking on
Conflict. Crucial Conflict.
Number 1 joint of the summer.
Yeah, smoking in the middle of the bar.
That thing was a bop. That thing was a hit.
It was.
That's again, we've talked about this too long, but
smoking on.
Hey, in the middle of the bar. That shit used to go.
They had their little slight beef between them and Bone Thugs.
And I had to act like I hated them.
Yep.
I was Team Bone Thugs Harmony. You know what I'm saying?
You still are.
I was Team Bone Thugs Harmony. You know what I mean? But yeah, Bone Thugs, and mind you, this is the summer. So again, this is just a countdown for the summer. So I'm at early in the year, 96, 90, especially at the end of the year 95. Bone Thugs probably had the #1 song of the It's like one of the biggest songs ever. But yes, it was Bone Thugs and Harmony, De La Soul, Stakes is High, two of America's Most Wanted. What I just say? Ain't No Nigga and I'm sorry, Crucial Conflict.
Hey in the middle of the bar.
In the middle of the bar.
Not bad.
Hey in the middle of the bar.
Good year, 96. Good year.
So whoever posted the top 10 songs,
really appreciate it.
I really appreciate that, because though I am an older guy now talking about grow up and all this and that, it feels good to get the time machine. And again, with the commercials and I mean, there's other commercials on there too, just like outside of hip hop, like Charmin commercials that I remember, like the joint where maybe tell me if you remember this commercial where the dude had the 2 paper towel rolls and he was like, Charmin paper towel has 20 plows longer than others.
Exorbitant.
Yeah, he drops it down the building and he runs all the way down the steps and tries to catch one. And then they had the McDonald's commercial. Remember McDonald's slogan was, "Have you had your break today?"
Yes.
And it had one for the Monopoly joint, and it had the old ladies in there. What? It was wild. They had this old, like, it was just like all these old commercials.
That Monopoly game had the world in the chokehold.
Yes.
That McDonald's Monopoly game.
And then again, seeing commercials for albums was wild. I haven't seen a commercial for an album in my adulthood, I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, that was wow. So again, man, nice little blast in the past. Whoever posted that, man, thank you so much. I hope I'm actually go look at your page, see if you got some more old shit I can look at. I can reminisce and have a midlife crisis over or whatever.
You know what I'm
saying? All right. All right, man. Appreciate you all for tuning in. We'll be back on Friday. Not sure if we're going to have Nargis on this episode. We'll talk to her, try to figure it out, but we're going to have a show for you Friday regardless. And you know how we do, man. We're going to be here. We here. Shouts out to all the new subscribers. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you all. Man, we got like about 130 new subscribers.
Thank y'all.
In a couple of days. That's really cool. We're trying to get to 1,000. We moving up, man. We getting real closer. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell while you're at it, okay? Go ahead and comment on the show. This is an interactive show, so comment, talk to us. We like to talk to you. We're going to start going live soon, too, in different capacities, and we'll be back in the studio very soon as well. So we got more stuff coming up for you, coming up in the near future, so stick with us, all right? Follow us, MSR Tribe on Instagram. We keep the conversation going over there as well. I'm going on that platform as well. MSR Tribe on Instagram, Master Radio on Facebook. We do keep the conversation going on that page. Well, and on Threads, MSR Tribe. Holler at us. All right. P, you good, brother?
100%, brother. 100%. I'm just excited that in the very near future, we're going to be having some 70-degree days here in the DMV, so I'm excited for that.
Yes, man. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, we got a couple of cool guests coming as well.
Yes, we do.
Got a couple of cool guests that I think you all gonna rock with. So you know, look forward to that too. Go ahead and keep that in the back of your mind. But yeah, we got some 70-degree days. You know what I want to do, P? I want to try to record a show like outside. Really, what I want to do is start going to venues and recording. Hope we would work that out as well. But I want to record a show outside one day. Let's see if we can pull
Let's
that
do
off
it. Let's do it.
Yeah. See if we can try that out. Man.
People need to see us out and about.
Yeah, see us out and about. You know what I mean? All right, man. We've been going long enough. We're going to let you all have your night back. I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Spann.
Black Man Spann exiting the building.
Remember to be great. Free DC.
Elevate us.
We're up out of here. Peace.